Oh man, this is so cool! I've always liked monsters, but that was like the same way I like Batman. I never imagined I'd actually go looking for them. I still can't believe we're really doing this.
Me either.
Oh, cheer up. Just think of this like a mini vacation.
I guess so.
Out of the blue one day, I got an email from an old college friend, Mia Miller. She wanted to talk to me about a tape she had gotten from her grandfather. On it, he claimed that monsters are real and that he wanted Mia to investigate them. For proof, he said to visit Burlington, Vermont. She decided to go and invited me to join her. It's been about a week since then. After taking a few days to plan out the trip, we hit the road. Burlington was about a 4-hour drive, so we had plenty of time to talk.
You said Champ was a lake monster. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, sure thing. So, Champ gets its name from the lake it lives in, Lake Champlain. Champlain? I don't know.
Don't ask me. We took Spanish.
Anyway, it was named after this explorer, Samuel de Champlain. I guess he founded Quebec and did a bunch of other important stuff too. Supposedly, he gave the first recorded account of Champ, but most people nowadays say that that's a fake quote from back in the 70s.
So this is just a hoax?
Not necessarily. Apparently, going even further back, the native tribes in the region had myths about a lake creature they called Tataskok. Grow up.
You laughed too.
Did not. I'm a mature adult.
Yeah, okay. So, the Native Americans had legends about Champ. What else?
Well, the first real recorded sightings came from the 1800s. The first report from a guy named, I'm not making this up, Captain Crumb, claimed that the monster was 187 feet long. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he was exaggerating.
Jeez, I hope so.
There were a lot more sightings in the late 1800s, and P.T. Barnum even put out a bounty of $50,000 for anyone who could capture it.
And did anyone cash in?
No.
I'm shocked.
Things quieted down at the turn of the century, but starting in the 40s and lasting pretty much up to the 70s, there were a lot more sightings. There have been some sporadically since then, but not as many. All the sightings I could find vary a lot in their descriptions of it. The only real common descriptor I ever see is serpent-like.
Serpent-like. Okay, so maybe a misidentified snake? Or an eel? Are there freshwater eels?
Maybe? I don't know. Aren't you the one that studied animals?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I have an encyclopedic knowledge of every species ever.
It should. Your education really failed you.
Jerk.
There's also a pretty famous picture of Champ, but...
It's probably fake. Either there's no such thing as monsters, in which case it's definitely fake, or monsters do exist, and my grandfather was right. And if he was telling the truth about monsters, then that also means we shouldn't be able to take pictures of them.
Yeah, exactly. We finally reached Burlington, a lakeside college town, and it boasts the highest population in Vermont. Lake Champlain itself is massive, spanning most of the border between New York and Vermont, and stretching up into Canada. That's a lot of ground, water to cover, but if Mia's grandfather told us to go to Burlington specifically, I'm hoping this is the best spot to find the creature. The first stop on our trip was getting crab cakes.
Oh man, that was so weird.
Right? Ugh.
So, what's on the paper?
Just an address.
Do we go?
I don't know. I mean, we might as well, right? It sounded like he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, I guess so.
At the very least, this gives us somewhere to start instead of just choosing at random.
Good point. Still creepy, though.
So creepy. We had just come out of the supermarket. We had gone there to buy as many crab cakes as we could get our hands on. As we filled the shopping cart, Mia whispered that this old man was watching us. I glanced out of the corner of my eye. There was someone there, just standing and staring. Once our cart was almost filled, the old man came up to us, pointing out a finger. He asked if those were crab cakes in our cart. We said yes, and then he said it was an awful lot of food for just the two of us. Mia and I just sort of looked at each other for a moment before the old man leaned in and whispered. He said that Whoever had told us, they must have been someone in the know. He fished a crumpled up piece of paper out of his pocket and wrote something down with a dying old pen. He said that if we really wanted to see Champ, that we should go here, and then he left without another word. After talking it over in the car, we headed back to our motel room. We cooked all the crab cakes and packed them in some cheap Tupperware. Finally, we headed out. After following a dirt road, the address led us to a dead end. Literally. There was a dirt lot for parking and the entrance of a path into the woods. The path led us to a small, sandy cove. It was pretty secluded, and the only sign of humanity was a decrepit-looking old dock.
This looks like a summer camp where we would get murdered.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. You ready?
Yeah, let's get to it. Will this thing even support our weight?
Only one way to find out. Seems sturdy enough.
Fine, but I didn't pack much for this trip. If I fall in, you're buying me a change of clothes.
That's fair, I guess. That's why I packed more clothes.
What?
Nothing. What do you think? Should we just dump the crab cakes in?
Let's toss in like half for now. We can always throw in more later.
All right. And now?
And now we wait.
We waited. How long's it been?
45 minutes.
And waited. Ooh. Ooh. What's that? By that rock over there.
Just a turtle.
You're right. Damn. And waited.
Might as well toss in some more crab cakes. Are you eating one?
I'm hungry.
It has been a while.
Yeah. So, this is looking like a big bust. How long until we call it quits?
I don't know. Maybe another hour? I just want to make sure that I really gave it an honest try, for Grandpa's sake.
Yeah.
What?
It's such a letdown. I wanted to believe in monsters. I really did. I know it's crazy, but there was always this part of me that thought they might exist. And now, nothing.
I'm sorry. I know it's... Did you see that?
What? Where?
Just over there. There it is again!
What is it?
I don't know.
It's coming this way. Holy sh**.
Oh my god.
It exists. It really exists. It's getting closer.
Don't make any sudden movements. We should be okay. Hey there, buddy. You want a crab cake? Aw, yeah. That's good, huh? He's eating out of my hand.
He's eating out of your hand.
Do you want to try?
Sure. Hey, champ.
That's it.
Is that a good crab cake? Good boy.
Sorry, bud. That was all we have.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. After that, we just sat there for a long time. Neither one of us spoke. Once the sun started to set, we finally headed back to the motel. It exists. It really exists. Mia, monsters exist. I still can't believe it.
Me either. I hand-fed a dinosaur!
Plesiosaur, I think.
Oh, whatever. We can get the details straight later. Still!
I know!
He was telling the truth.
Yeah. Oh.
What?
The fog. What if 2 days from now we don't remember any of this?
Don't be ridiculous.
Why not? If he was telling the truth about monsters, he's probably right about this fog, too.
Good thing we've been recording it then.
Right. Duh. Your grandpa did mention he kept a journal in case his memories ever got, foggy. I guess this is the same thing.
Yeah.
So? Well, now that we know the truth, are you gonna do it?
Do what?
Follow in your grandfather's footsteps. Investigate cryptids. Isn't that the whole reason we came up here? To see if he was telling the truth?
Yeah, I guess. I think I have to, right? It's not like I can just go back to a normal life knowing something like Champ exists.
I don't blame you. How do I go back to school now? Seems a little meaningless in comparison.
Well...
What?
I know this might be a lot to ask, but you could join me?
Come on. For real?
I mean, now that you know these things are real too, who else am I gonna tell? I imagine I'll be doing a lot of traveling, and I already know you make a good road trip partner. And you could keep recording everything, just in case the fog does make us forget. Plus, you already know a lot about monsters, so I wouldn't be going in blind. What do you say? Are you in?
Like, full time?
Yeah, I guess. At least for a few months, try this whole thing out. If my grandfather left me money, I can afford to leave my job for a while.
And I'm doing an independent study this semester. I basically don't have to be there at all. Plus, my parents don't really care what I do. Even if they did, I could tell them this is all part of the project. I mean, it is, basically. Yeah, I'm in.
Great. Alright, this is Mia. If we're going to be researching cryptids, we're not going to half-ass this. I'm going to make sure we do it right. Lucas helped me set up one of his microphones, and I'm going to start taking notes on everything we find. So, field notes. Entry number 1. Champ. The creature was, as best as I could tell, about 10 feet long. It had a thin neck and a lizard-like head, with sharp, thin teeth. Its head was about the size of a dog's, like a golden retriever. Its skin was a murky gray, with a darker red band around the base of its neck. We weren't able to get a look at much more of the creature, but judging from its shadow under the water, its body was much wider, with 4 fins. After doing some research with Lucas, we think it's a descendant of the plesiosaur. Long, thin neck, large body, reptilian, a pretty good match. Champ's snout was a bit shorter and more rounded than the pictures of plesiosaurs we found, but that could be for any number of reasons. As best as we could tell, plesiosaurs fed on creatures from the seabed, like clams and crabs, which would explain why it was so attracted to the crab cakes, as well as, not trying to eat us. Odds are good that Champ is not an individual, but rather a breeding population of these things. Either way, we don't really have the resources to investigate that right now. That's all for now, I guess? And field notes.
Wow. Full-time cryptid hunters. This is gonna be awesome!
I still can't believe we're actually doing this. The wide world of cryptozoology. It's all a little overwhelming. Where do we even go from here?
I know just where to start.
The Cryptid Cases has been a production of Little Giant Monsters.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on iTunes.
If you'd like to follow us on social media, search for Little Giant Monsters on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Or visit littlegiantmonsters.com.
Thanks for listening, and see you again soon.